Okay, so we're in the map editor. This is the lanes between, the map of the lanes between, right? You can see everything's here. We've got the divine towers, there's Ќʰᵦ down there. The ʷʰᵉŒᵉ here, the minor earth tree, Red Main Castle, Radon's Arena. We have Weeping Peninsula, Lingrave, the Urnia, Altus Plateau, Mount Gilmir, the Earth Tree. I removed the foliage to make it easier to see things, and the mountaintop of the giants. This is the Gulf. That's the Coliseum. And that's the waterfall here. This line here is the waterfall, right? To the east. Now, this is roughly the center of the lanes between, as I had shown in the slides of the first video, right? Roughly, okay? Nothing's going to be pixel perfect here, but it's close enough, I think. Yeah. And this is the Shadow Realm, right? The whole map of the Shadow Realm, the Skadu tree over there, the Belora Tower here, the Black Gate here, the Shadow Keep, Raoul, Jagged Peak, Cerulean Coast, right? This is where we start, around here. This is the ruined settlement, I don't remember the name. The first area that we encounter, probably, everybody, yeah, that's the first one we go through. And this is the suppressing pillar, right here, the very center of the links between, right? And this is the center of the links between that I had selected before. Okay, so they're lined up, and now we can put the two of them together, and this is what we get. Okay, the two maps together in the original scale, in position, and rotation, though we're going to cover that after this bit. And yeah, so here, right, the pillar with the inscription, the very center of the lanes between, is aligned with the point where we had previously determined was kind of roughly the very center of the lanes between. Okay, and yeah, the problem, so I was talking in the first video about the Shadow Realm taking bits of the like overlapping lane mass, right? And the Shadow Realm taking parts of the lanes between. I had talked about the ʷʰᵉŻ over here, right? Like in the best fit, looking from the world map from above, we were taking huge swaths from here, from Lingrave, from Ќʰᵦ. This is that's the best fit from the map, at least from the world map, right? But we were taking huge swaths from down here, and we had a better fit over here. But then this is arguably the right fit, right? The right position, because the inscription lines up with the center of the lanes between. We don't get the overlap down here, but we still get the end of the peninsula there, of the bestial sanctum, right? And over here, like, my first concern was the Shadow Realm taking swaths of the surface of the Altus Plateau, right? But the actual problem is that it doesn't go high enough. See? This is the Shadow Realm. If we add the lands between, right? Like, this is the starting area. This is the starting area. And the suppressing pillar is here. The Tower of Belorat is here. We have the Great Bridge here, Ensis. Escado Altos. We have Raul, right? And all of that is inside the landmass of the lands between. Most of it, right? Like the Shadow Keep here. Right, the Shadow Keep and Manus Meteor, right? They kind of escape that. We have the little bridge here. Like, again, on the surface it looks good. Honestly, when you look at it, like the bits that are out, the bits that survive the transition, like, they look good because they don't have to account for what's missing, right? So you kind of go, yeah, oh, okay, maybe it could fit, right? Maybe it could fit. But you would have to be taking all of this out of the lands between, right? Here's Mikela, the Haley tree. Like, I'm aware I'm not going to change a lot of minds, you know, when ideas get disentrenched, like, I'm not saying I am right, okay, but the way I see it, it just doesn't work. Like, this just doesn't work. We have the wu̍ťᵦᵏ village there. But the rest of that peninsula is everything, like, you know, it's the same impression I had before. On the surface, it looks good. On the surface, like in this case, literally. On the surface, it looks good. But it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You know, like, you'd have to be taking all of this out. Right? Because, like, here, like I said, like here it looks like a continuation because we bashed one into the other, but like, we have the landmass here. We have the landmass of the lands between. But the part of the Shadow Realm that runs up against the landmass of the lands between, it doesn't stop here. It keeps going. Right? I don't know. Like, it's the same problem, kinda, like my worry, my concern was the overlap of land masses. One of the concerns that I had was the overlap of land masses, and I was initially thinking from the basest of perspectives, just looking from above, and I was worried about the surface of the Altos Plateau and stuff like that. But it's not just from the surface, right? Like, the surface remains intact over there from the link between landmass, right? But kinda, but the whole landmass would not only have to be Swiss cheese by now, like, the landmass of the Shadow Realm goes into it. It burrows into it. So you would have to remove, like, from the sides of the cliffs, right? Like, it's a continuous landmass. You would have to remove from the sides of the cliffs, burrowing into it. I don't know, it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense, besides all of the problems that I had. Like, the landmass overlap just doesn't make sense. Now, one of the viewers left me a message, a comment, talking about like the rotation and the scaling that I mentioned in the first video. And yes, he agrees that we are not supposed to scale the maps, but he pointed out that the rotation, the compass roses, like they line up now but in the direction of the sun, they line up now, but if the Shadow Realm had been rotated in the process, like the compass rose, like it would indicate the current cardinal directions, not the old ones. So rotation is actually viable. Scaling still doesn't work. You're not supposed to scale the maps, but yes, they made a very good point regarding the rotation. So I'm going to try and rotate the map of the Shadow Realm, which is going to be a little bit finicky because we have to keep the suppressing pillar lined up with the point there, and the map doesn't rotate around the suppressing pillar. If that's possible, I don't know how to do it, because the map is made up of several different pieces, and you have to select the whole map, all of the pieces together, and they will rotate around that. Ah, fuck. Okay. See, I can rotate the whole thing, but it doesn't rotate around the center of the land mass or the suppressing pillar. I can't choose the anchor point. So I have to rotate the whole thing to some angle that I like, that I want to check out, and then I have to translate it back to the lineup position regarding the suppressing pillar. That should be here, and the center of the lens between is here. So that's close enough. Okay. So yeah, like, you see, this illustrates one of the points that I made before. Like, the bashing still looks good any way you do it. Like, the areas that intersect, they will look, it doesn't matter where you put it, kinda, but it doesn't kinda doesn't matter where you put it. The areas that intersect, they will always look good on the surface, because they're not accounting for everything, right? Like, it's making out of the thing here, right? Okay. Yep. Still taking huge swaps from this area, and Mountaintops looks better than before. Much better than before. Not good yet. Altos Plateau still taking huge slots from there. The peninsula of the finger rings is better than before. But then you get Ċejħľaⁿ. Yep. Jagged Peak. It's taking huge softs of Ċejħľa̤ over there, from the north of Ċejħľa̤. Not huge, just big enough. Still taking out. Divine Tower. Like, it goes deep. Special informations like this, right? You can't see it from the surface because of the water, but they're not just slivers of stone. They have to connect underwater at some point. Each one of these would have to be a huge crater. The north of Ċejħḻa̤ wouldn't be there. If we rotate more than this, we can eventually get probably get everything out of the Altos Plateau in the mountaintops, but the more we rotate, the more we'll be getting from Ċejħḻa̤ and Lingrave, and the more we try to steer clear from there, we're gonna eat from here, right? Eventually Liurnia. Let's rotate some more. Let's see how that goes. Right. Go to this. Here's here. Here's here. It's not there, so here. Here. Here's here. Yep. Okay. Yep. Close enough. Okay. See, we rotated more to get out of Altos and out of the mountaintops for good, but it didn't get out of the mountaintops yet. Or Altos, like, it's too big. It's too big, doesn't matter how much you rotate, it's too big, it doesn't get out. Like this whole part here, it would have to be missing from the lens between. Like this, starting from the side of the cliff and burrowing into it. Right, because all of this would have to be taken from the lens between. So we didn't really get out from there. I think it's better. Not yet. Tower of Bilrat there. Get some of the mountaintops too. Not out yet. How scale it? Yep. Caled, the Coliseum, the Divine Tower. Jesus. Stormveil gets fucked. Start getting pieces from Liurnia. At this point, the Cerulean coast. It's over there. Yeah, it's entering out. Cerulean coast is entering Altus Plateau over there. Not yet. No, this is the coast. This is the hidden grave, right? Yeah, the coast is clear. The coast is clear, but hidden grave is going inside the Altus Plateau. The fissure is here. And yeah, we have to account for the fissure too, because like I talked about in the first video about the underworld, right? Like the underground is all there. The underground of the lands between is there. So anything, any of these areas from the surface that you go underground, like the jails, we don't get to go too deep underground, but we can look from the points where we do go that it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And you'd have to take that from the lands between, right? But you have the underground of the lands between, in the lands between. And if we rotate more, the fissure, the peninsula of the fissure will start getting the tip there. It would brush with the And like I said, the fissure goes fucking deep underground, and you'd have to be thinking, like, again, on the surface it looks good because you don't have to account for the underground, right? But the fissure goes really fucking deep underground, and there's the Eternal Cities down here. It doesn't make sense. All of this has the Eternal Cities below, right? I don't know what to tell you, man. Besides all that I talked about, why aren't there any fucking kaiju skeletons? Kaiju giants? Like, Caelid has kaiju giants all over the place. The mountaintops has kaiju giants. Anywhere from the Shadow Realm that overlaps with those places, why don't they have those? And if the snap happened after the shattering of the Elden Ring, where's the overlap in culture, population, and architecture from the places that overlap, regardless of the configuration that we use here? I don't know, man. And again, on the surface you can always find places that look good, but as soon as you account for the landmass itself, right? Because I was thinking about the surface on a more 2D. I was thinking 3D in 2D terms. It was my mistake. Now I'm thinking 3D in 3D terms, which I think it helps my case. I'm sure there will be people who will think otherwise. But yeah, this is what I had to show. Okay. All right.